Hello YouTube, your friendly neighbourhood Shock16 back once again with another video. This time it's a kind of a good deed donation and a project video. Yeah, you can tell by the way I'm doing this that it's a slash of two things. Yeah, National Sign Language for slash and slash something else. Yeah, anyway, so good deed donation and project video. So yeah, a good friend of mine on here on YouTube, fellow YouTuber named LukeyWookie1234. Yeah, really great guy, really funny and stuff like that. Yeah, classic, really good lad. Been wanting a SNES just lately, and is like away from home. Is at university and stuff. Getting a bit like homesick and stuff like that. So I thought I'd do him a good deed and hook him up with a Super Nintendo. So yeah, but obviously I don't shit money, so I decided to build him one instead. A friend of mine, he fixes up consoles and stuff like that, and then he sells them on. He like buys old ones, fixes them up, and then sells them back on again and stuff like that. So I'm on a bit of a backhander with him. If I ever want out like that, he normally sets me up with a part or something if I need something to fix something with. And yeah, so basically I contacted him and asked him if he had any inners for a SNES, any working inners for a SNES. He said he wasn't sure, but you might be able to come up with something. So he asked me to come round one day while I was on my 2 weeks holidays, and yeah, so I went round and had a look what he had. And lucky enough, he did have some inners for a SNES. There was a few things not quite working right with it, so we replaced a few things on the motherboard there and then. Round his place, I say we, he did most of the stuff. He's like the technical person. I just do the manual labour, transplant a bit. So yeah, basically I've got a nice new, well not new obviously, like a bit of a Frankenstein heart to go inside of a Super Nintendo shell now. So yeah, I went up into loft, dug out an old Super Nintendo shell that I already had up there, and yeah, I'm basically going to do a SNES transplant. I thought I'd film it for you guys here, so yeah, just thought I'd document it and film it for you guys as I do the transplant. So enjoy the video, thanks. So as you can see here guys, this is just the Super Nintendo shell. This is mine, this is what I had up in the loft, sitting up in the loft, just an empty Super NES shell. So there you can see that's the top, that's the lid, and there is your bottom. That's just your normal plastic empty shell base there. Now this part here, as you can probably tell, this is the inners for the Super Nintendo. This is what makes it all work. This is your motherboard and all that, all the circuitry that you need for a full Super Nintendo, full working Super Nintendo. So yeah, this is basically what we was working on the bank holiday Monday. We've had to, well I say we, basically my mate did everything. I basically just supervised it. He does the technical parts, I just do the building parts. So yeah, a few things under here have been replaced, nothing major, just a few connections and stuff like that was replaced. We had to replace this. This is your controller ports. Basically one of the controller ports weren't working on the original motherboard that we had, so we just swapped out the part and put a new controller ports onto it. Yeah, so now this is all working. This works okay as far as I know. Well, it was working on Monday anyway, so hopefully it's still working now. So yeah, basically all I'm going to do is transplant this into the shell. So let's get on with that, shall we? Now a Super Nintendo transplant is pretty straightforward. The only tools I'm going to be using to perform this operation is a standard Phillips screwdriver and a game bit tool with a size 8 end on it. And here we have all the particular screws. These have all come out of different Super Nintendos. In fact, this is a bit of a Frankenstein machine, this one, as all the parts, including the ones that we've replaced on the motherboard and stuff like that, different screws and buttons and stuff like that. There's about 6 Nintendos going into one Nintendo here, so yeah, a bit, like I said, a bit of a Frankenstein monster. Right, so here's the screws that you should have. You should have 9 screws in total, and 2 of these little clasps here. These go either end of your case. There's one each end. There's a little cut out for each one. I will actually show you where these go as I do the transplant. So yeah, basically these are just normal Phillips screws there, but they are two sizes. Like, we salvage these out of different machines, so we know they fit perfectly and exactly where they go. But yeah, I'm sure if you just go to a normal hardware store like that, you can probably source these. If you can look online, you'll probably find out exactly what size screws you need and just be able to source them there. But yeah, we sourced ours from just taking them off of Super Nintendos. So like I said, 9 in total. That's 2 for your front of your motherboard. They're the short screws. 2 shorter screws there for your power on and off switch. For the center of the motherboard, you need the longer ones. As you can see, they're considerably longer to the ones that hold the front in. And then you've got a shorter screw for the left hand corner of the back of the motherboard, and 2 longer screws for the back of the motherboard as well. Right, so before you insert your motherboard into the bottom of your base, you want these are your 2 little clasps. Now these go here. As you can see, there's one there and there's another just here, and you simply just want to sit these into their positions like so. And now of course you just want to sit your motherboard into your base. Just line it up where it needs to go, as you can see, like that. Your controller ports sit on these 2 bits here, and with a bit of fiddling, there you go, get it all sitting nice in place. This is your on and off switch. There, they screw into these ports here, so you just want to sit them down there like that. And now you're ready to apply the screws. So the first 2 screws to go in are 2 of the shorter ones. They're being placed here, and the second one just here on your motherboard. Take your Phillips screwdriver and just screw them in. Now I'm going to take 2 of the longer screws and put them into the middle part. You want to put these here and here. So there's one there and the other just there, and then screw them in. Okay, now for the back, you've got your 2 longer screws, one going in here, then another one, if I can, it's a bit dark so you probably can't see it, but it's just between this point here. That's another one of your long screws in there. And then your third, one of the shorter screws, just going into this silver bit here, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but yay! The wonders of technology, we have magnetic screwdrivers. So let's see if I can get it in with this attempt. No, I can't, so I'll just do a cheeky little cut with them all in and all screwed in. Right, so here we are back after the cheeky little edit after I couldn't get that screw in, but yeah, as you can see, here we are now with the motherboard all nicely screwed in. You can tip this upside down and that motherboard should not go anywhere. It should be nice and sturdy. It shouldn't be going anywhere. If it's loose anywhere, if it moves anywhere, then you've got a few screws missing. Like I said, there's 9 in total. I've just shown you where they all go, and if you apply them where I've just shown you, then that motherboard should be solid as a rock. So yeah, the only thing that should be loose is your controller ports and this power button now. Now your power ports, controller ports even, they just stay loose. They just basically just rest on there loosely until you're ready to apply the lid. Because once you've applied the lid, then that will secure them into place. As for the power button, we're now going to take 2 short screws again, and then just place one either end, and then screw it into place. So now you're probably thinking, well, that's all screwed in, so it's now just time to put the lid on and play away. But you'd be wrong, because what you need to do first is get one of these. And this is your jet
ejecting mechanism. Now without this device you're not going to get your carts out or like that, so you really do need it. I do know people that's taken these apart and put the lid back on and forgot to put these back in. And then they've had to go back and do it all again because they can't get the carts out. So yeah, this is probably the most fiddliest part of the transplant, because as you can see you've got this bar in the back of it that has a tendency to fall out, and you've got to line this bar up with, let me see if I can get there, with this point and this point. And not only have you got to do that, but you've also got a spring on the mechanism. Now one half of this goes into your mechanism, and that's that part there, that little cut out part just there. Then the other part has to go into, on this pod here, as you can see that's the part for your bar. Then this little part down here is where the other end of the spring has to go. Like that, if you can see that. And that's very fiddly, so I'm going to do another cheeky little edit again with it all in place. Right, so here we are back after yet another cheeky edit like I said I was going to do, and with the ejecting mechanism all in place now. As you can see, once it's all in place it should spring back into action. Like I said, this is probably the part that will test your patience. That bloody spring, it can be a nightmare at times. Sometimes you'll get it first time and it'll be no hassle at all, and other times it'll just be a pain in the arse. So if anything's gonna annoy you in doing a SNES transplant, then this will be the part that will piss you off. So yeah, now we're ready for the lid. So once you're satisfied with all the insides being nice and secure and everything, and you've got your lid all in position, then just simply flip it over to the underside. And now to close the case you're going to need some of these beauties. These are security screws. Now I don't know how easy these are to come by. I'm sure if you go on the internet then there's bound to be someone that will sell them to you if you're in desperate need of them. But of course we just salvaged ours from other Super Nintendos again. So yeah, you're going to need 6 of these in total. And they are going here, 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and 2 in the centre. And to secure these in with, you're going to need your game bit tool. This is your special tool used for unscrewing and screwing your security tools in. So let's get to it, shall we? So now it's all screwed together, it's time for the final power test to see if it's all working. There we go. Red light is on.
It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
And as you can see, all nicely working. No faults there whatsoever. All seems to be spot on working condition. Bit of international tennis tour there on the screen. So there we go. One fully working SNES. So there we are, guys. All boxed up and ready to be shipped off to Luke. So yeah, keep watching this channel for when it arrives and stuff like that, and check him out anyway, because like I said, he's a really cool guy. He's got a really cool channel going. Has a few good series going, like the Naked Man Rant and the Xbox 360 Fanboy, but some of his best videos are like his pick-up parodies and stuff like that. So yeah, click the link in the description below, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for viewing, and until next time, I'll see you next time. I've been Shot16, you've been great, bye bye.